live. Where's my notes go? All right, welcome to Punk's Talk Wrestling, where once again we failed to come up with a tagline before recording. I am RW Hellborn, coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and with me from London, England, coming in at disputed 500 pounds, the proper prick, CJ Newman!
Hey, I'm CJ Newman, and did you know that Jinder Mahal's single WWE Championship reign lasted longer than all 4 Avengers combined?
All right, I couldn't hear what, so I now know to adjust the volume.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh,
When you started talking, I couldn't hear anything you said after. Hey, I'm CJ Newman, because the intro went back in, but the timing was actually pretty good.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Let me go.
Well, good thing you didn't hear it, because then you'll hear it next time instead.
Yeah.
Do you want me to kick straight off, or do you want to talk a little bit before we start, like we did last time, or should we just go straight in?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think let's just kick straight into it.
Sweet,
you know?
sweet.
Yeah, we'll consider this the into it that has been kicked.
Here we go. We're now into it. All right. So SummerSlam 2023, live from Ford Field in Detroit. Here's a little fact for you, Ralph.
Give me the facts, Chris.
So, and it just escaped my brain. The last time the last time WWE was in the Ford Field, it's not the Ford Field, it's Ford Field.
It's just
whatever.
Ford. Yeah, it's just Ford Field.
Do you know what event that was?
I don't know what event that was, Chris. What event was
WrestleMania 23. Long time ago. Fucking long time ago. And there are only 2 people on the roster that appeared at that event, at WrestleMania 23, that also appeared at SummerSlam. I'll let you take 2 random stabs in the dark right now.
Wait, one was Brock Lesnar.
No.
No?
Nope.
Wait, WrestleMania 23.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's last WrestleMania 20, actually. Against Goldberg.
Wait, really?
Yeah. He was gone for like 3 years before then.
Okay, wait, maybe, is one Drew McIntyre?
No,
he was out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I'm failing
So,
Sheamus has got to be one of them.
Nah.
Wait, WrestleMania 23.
WrestleMania 23.
I've lost my sense. I've lost all sense of time.
Well, let me tell you when.
What year was WrestleMania 23?
I'll tell you because I don't know. 23 was 2007. Headlined by Cena, Shawn Michaels, Batista, and Undertaker, and of course, Bobby Lashley with Donald Trump versus Umaga with Vince McMahon. Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the year 2007. Yeah.
Okay, so who was it then that were the only 2?
So
it's completely escaping me.
It was MVP. He made an appearance. He was on the event because he announced Omos before the Battle Royal. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah, he faced Chris Benoit at WrestleMania 23 for the US title. And also, I'm trying to find out what match he was in, but I don't know. I think he definitely appeared, though. He did appear. I think because at the time, I know why. So the other one was The Miz, because The Miz was in the Battle Royal. But The Miz at WrestleMania 23 was it. He remember when he first came in, he was like a backstage interviewer kind of guy.
Oh yeah,
because he did the Diva Search. He was the Diva Search guy.
Yes, that was part of his early gimmick.
Yeah.
He was just a backstage guy.
Yeah, like a weird, quirky one. But yeah, that was him. So yeah, they're the only 2 people on the entire roster that have both times that they've appeared in the Ford Field. I keep saying the Ford Field. It just sounds weird. Both times they appeared in Ford Field, they're the only 2 people that have ever appeared in that building. It's like twice, basically. So there's a little tidbit for you.
There you go. All right. See, I love this. I love researcher Chris finding out the hard facts so that I can just admire your researching skills instead of digging that out myself.
So this was WrestleMania 23 was 80,000 people, which is a lot of people.
Right.
SummerSlam just gone was I think 49,000 people, just shy of 59,000.
59. Yeah.
Yeah,
59.
just shy of 60. So
that is the disputed number.
Yeah, the disputed number, whatever that means.
Which we never. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever gotten a clear definition of between reported and disputed. I don't know if reported is just considered ticket sales.
Reported is so disputed basically. So disputed means like WWE will announce, our attendance is 59,194. Right, that's what they'll say on the pay-per-view, and then what people like Dave Meltzer would say would be like, no, that's wrong. You didn't actually pull that amount of people. You actually pulled 51,477. Now, I don't read dirt sheets, and I certainly don't listen to Dave Meltzer. So,
I
don't know I don't know why it matters. It's literally a difference of like 8,000 people.
I've never quite understood that either. Like, what is? I totally understand. Exaggerating your numbers,
right? Yeah.
For the show, but I don't understand where it got to the point where this is such a contested thing, where the Wikipedia page has the two numbers on there. For like there has to be what is one person qualifying as attendance that the other person is qualifying more people as attendance. Is WWE accounting for the people who are working at the concession stands and the merch booths and the trash people, and the guys in the parking lot?
Do you think that's 8,000 people though?
That could be, and it could also be the people who are all the people, every WWE,
all the
WWE performers are in attendance there as well.
Yeah, and all the
are you
production
taking into
crew
account?
And seamstresses
are you taking into account the ring help, the announcers, all of the WWE staff and crew that are there, the people that they invited who are
maybe
not
that's
ticketed.
it. Maybe that's it. But
hey,
somewhere between 51 and 59,000 people. That's who's in attendance.
I like the bigger number, so I'm always going to go with
bigger. It just sounds cooler.
Yeah, it sounds exactly bigger is better. So
right. So
let's go with that.
So that's all I got for facts. I think any cool facts like that. Anyway, so SummerSlam 2023.
Yeah, was there a pre-show match? Was there a dark match that we?
There was no pre-show match.
Okay, because I didn't hear anything about one.
So if you go back to what we were talking about last week with SummerSlam 2001, which we watched, and I was talking about the intro video packages and stuff like that.
Yes. Which is actually that I just uploaded the last week's episode, pilot episode, to our brand new Patreon page.
Oh boy!
That's the only thing that's on there. But yeah, for the 3 people that may know about it already, I'm underselling.
So,
but yeah, Patreon will be where, just a quick tie-in. Patreon is going to be where we will be hosting these episodes for now.
For now, yeah.
And
spread them out everywhere else.
We know you and I didn't discuss this, but I was gonna just put them up there for free.
Yeah.
With the donations only for now.
Yeah.
Until we get until we really
find the feet. Yeah.
Find our feet.
Yeah.
We'll throw up that information.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted. That's fine. Yeah. So the 36th SummerSlam, which blew my mind. I didn't realize there'd been that many, but I guess if there's been nearly 40 WrestleManias, that kind of checks out.
Yeah. SummerSlam was the second longest run.
Yeah, I think so. I think it probably goes Mania, SummerSlam, then Survivor Series. And then Royal Rumble. But I don't know.
Oh no, Royal Rumble is somewhere in. I forget if Royal Rumble is ahead of SummerSlam.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna have to
research that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my so first I'll say I love the video package that started it. The cars and everything with Detroit really worked. These are the kind of things I was talking about, right? Because I was talking when I was talking about the last video package of WrestleMania, SummerSlam 2001. It was just like a lot of just shots from. You said there might have been a few like B-roll shots filmed, but this is what I'm talking about, like proper B-roll shots. Like they hired cars and they got the guys and girls to sit in the cars and look cool and stuff, you know.
Yeah, they went out of the way. They filmed. Yeah,
they took a day. They took a day out of people's schedules to film this stuff.
They make it like it's got the move. It's got like a movie trailer feel.
Exactly, right?
You know?
My very first note on this entire pay-per-view is fucking Kid Rock.
yeah, but you know what? We expect that.
Yeah.
We should have expected it with. I mean, he is a WWE Hall of Famer.
He is.
He was a lot more popular when he was a lot more popular. And I mean, he's still
22 years ago.
Yeah, we can feel however we want to feel about the groaniness of seeing Kid Rock on our screens. But
there
I mean,
he was.
It's Detroit. They're in Detroit, and he's got a history with WWE. It was obviously no brainer. It was and there are plenty of WWE fans that still dig him.
Yep,
and that's
true.
cool with me. But it's still Kid Rock.
And my other note was like, I fucking love the logo for this year's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've kind of kept to the same kind of color scheme and style for like quite a while. But this one, they really laid into like the whole car, Detroit, Motor City kind of look to the logo. I really, really dug it. I think it was really cool.
And that could be slight. I don't know if it's slightly intentional or like subliminal. But this being this is also the first SummerSlam, which is one of the major five that is no longer under what WWE is no longer owned by the McMahon family.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
Because that happened. Obviously, people who know that the WWE was bought by Endeavor.
Yep.
After WrestleMania, which happened, and I completely forgot about it again until I just looked it up. I'm like, the hubbub and all the whatever people wanted to scream about. It was going to instantly change and whatever. I've
honestly, until you just mentioned it, I forgot that it happened.
Completely forgot, which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah,
because,
and they did say I think there was like a few people came out. Nick Khan, that's the guy's name. I can't remember what his job is in the WWE, but Nick Khan came out and he was like, "This isn't going to change anything. Like, you're not going to notice a change whatsoever."
Yeah, and
he was right because there's been no change at all.
Yeah. So yeah, no pre-show. Just I guess their pre-show was just all packages of the upcoming matches.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it.
So first match was Logan Paul versus Ricochet, and I think let's preface each match with what our prediction was before we go into them, because your prediction was Ricochet, right?
Oh yeah, I did. Yes, and
mine was Logan Paul. So.
Yeah, so you were definitely right on that one.
Hell yeah! So
yeah,
this match freaking ruled.
I did not see that coming. Also, something that I noticed. Well, we'll talk more about it as we go through the matches. But this opening match, 18 minutes, and they needed it. We'll get into the discussion. We can talk about disappointments of other matches being cut, but when you look at what happened, when you look at the matches that they had in this card,
yeah,
it all made absolute sense. Starting off with this now fun fact. This was a fun fact that I just found out about.
Ooh.
It was Logan Paul who specifically requested they go on first, so that he could jump on a plane.
Makes sense.
And he jumped on a plane and went to his brother's boxing match.
Yeah. Which, by the way, he got... Well, I saw a headline yesterday, and I was like, oh, and I clicked on it, right? Because I saw that he got in a scuffle at the boxing match in the crowd. By the way,
did
he was in the front row of this boxing event in his full wrestling gear. Like the whole thing.
He hopped on a plane in full gear.
He didn't even change. He didn't even change.
I mean, okay, so professional wrestler now gets into a scuffle at brothers others professional fighting event.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna and I'm not going to think that it's all part of a work. Like,
so, but I watched the video, right? There was like a fan filmed video, and he didn't actually get in a scuffle himself. There was a chair thrown for sure. I think it was just a bit of a nut fan chatting shit basically, and then someone going after him because because he beat Ricochet. Maybe, who knows? But
this is brilliant. Like,
it's great.
Even if it's real, this is why wrestling is so great. Even if that's real, you can't not question whether it is or not.
Exactly.
You know.
So yeah, that happened. But yeah, the match itself.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, the match itself was so damn good. Good.
I could not believe how. I mean, it was undeniable how well they worked together.
Yeah. It's crazy. I just can't believe.
And here's
Logan Paul's just
a
natural, man. It's crazy.
But you notice too, that was 18 minutes. There was a lot of spots in that match, and we don't, we talk, you and I both agree that we don't like 5-minute spot fests where you finisher after finisher. They did series of moves, and they took their time with them, and it was just constant roller coaster. It was every match on this card was distinct.
Yeah. It was actually, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, theirs was definitely a faster paced, high flying, more spots. But that's what they built it up. They built it that way intentionally.
Yeah.
It's not just the go-to. It was, I mean, again, this is August, and this was built up since the Royal Rumble. They knew immediately that they were going to go but they didn't know how to get there yet.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to see Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Yeah.
We just didn't know how they were going to get there.
Exactly.
And Money in the Bank was such a genius way. They use other matches because this is what you have to do. You have to tell other stories than just the guy who's winning that Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
That the beauty of how this all came together, and it's kind of hard for me to say it wasn't my favorite match of the night, but it was definitely tied for second with at least 3 other matches.
This match, all right, yeah. Just to preface, like this card was good, man. This was a good show, like
everything
really
was
good
solid.
Show. Yeah, everything was so good.
We'll say it now. I'm glad they dropped Trish and Becky.
Yeah.
From this card.
Yeah.
And Triple H talked about it in the press conference afterwards. And I love those press conferences. By the way.
They're good. They are good.
And he's 100% right. And anyone else that disagrees is just wrong.
Yeah.
They're just wrong. That match was not as popular as these other matches, and all of these matches needed all of this time.
They did. There
was not a match that was like dragging.
I mean, look at the show. The show pulled in like 4 hours 20 minutes, and if you had put on, 4 hours. Was it 4 hours 20 minutes? I think I'm right. Yeah,
it was.
So if you're putting in that Trish and I can't see.
That's why there was no pre-show. Well, that's why there was no dark match.
But you couldn't see them putting on a show longer than that. So if you had that Trish and Becky match on there, it would have cut into others, or the Trish Becky match would have been incredibly short. And you don't want either of that. So
and Triple H said it exactly correct. They're now putting them on a larger stage for them than they would have been on this. Like the SummerSlam attendance is more than the attendance in Vancouver or wherever they're going to do this. But let's, they now have more weeks on television with this angle. Let's also not just gloss over the fact that a benefit of pushing the closing of their angle gives Zoe Stark more airtime on Raw, gives her more time to be around these amazing, work with Trish and Becky.
Yeah.
So there's nothing bad. Like, Trish and Becky was not the main event. It was nowhere close to the main event. It would have been, if anything, it probably would have been the opening match or the dark match.
Yeah, I feel like it. Like, I don't know. There wasn't. I didn't get to the end of this show and go. I didn't even think about that. Not to say it's not important, and not to say it's not like. It doesn't have its place, but it's not a match that I was like missing from that card.
No, not at all. Because that match isn't about. It's not about Becky or Trish. It's about Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
That match is mainly to give her more training, and that's amazing. Like, and I haven't seen anyone mention anything about that. Like, so like looking at the positives of that, there's you can't be upset with the matches and how they were.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got on that. I'm happy. I'm happy that it was cut to give these more time.
Exactly. But yeah, it was. But yeah, back to the actual match at hand.
Yeah.
Like what I've put here is that it was like an indie style match, but with like a WWE style to it. So there were a lot of like fast-paced moments where there was a lot of like, split legs and ducks and dives and like counters for a while, and then there would be a big spot. But as opposed to there being like a moment where someone would just, I don't know, no one would, someone wouldn't sell anything for quite a period of time. There was selling, they would do a big move and there'd be selling for a good period of time. It would give a chance for people to sink in for people and stuff. So
yes, exactly. It's essential. They were just repeatedly like going off the high dive and just like, all right, we're jumping off the high dive, get out of the pool, run up the high dive, take a minute, climb up that ladder again, jump off the high dive again. They were giving everybody enough time to breathe, so that every one of those spots meant something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
but so good. I mean, the ending of the match. Well, no, the ending of the match is great. Like I like the finishes like that. Only because like Logan Paul is meant to be that kind of guy, that kind of heel. Yeah. And the fact that he got help with the brass knucks from his friend and everything, it's just kind of what you want. You don't want Dusty finish, especially for someone like that, because you want him to be hated more. What I want is for him to be hated.
He's supposed to be hated. It doesn't hurt Ricochet in any way whatsoever, despite what anyone might think. They are also wrong if they think if they think Ricochet was they hurt his push by having Logan Paul beat him.
No,
man.
No. That's not how it works. Because at the end of the day,
how it works.
If there's a ton of people, right, that have never watched wrestling before, but they're tuning in because Logan Paul, right, and they found out like they've maybe like he's had like 4, 5, 6 matches now, and each time there's a match, each time Logan Paul has a match, there's someone out there that's kind of like, okay, I keep seeing Logan Paul. I'm a big fan of Logan Paul and what he does. I keep seeing that he does these matches in wrestling every now and then. I'm going to go check that out. They're going to go check that match out. They're going to watch SummerSlam, first match. Therefore, they're now hooked to watch the rest of the event. And not only that, they've all watched Ricochet wrestle, and now they all know who Ricochet is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the opening and I'm a fan. I'm also a fan of hot opening matches too, because
the opener is like the second most important match after the main event in my point of view.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It 100% is, and that's why we've seen such amazing first matches in some of these pay-per-views. That used to not be the thing. Obviously that used to not be the thing. It was just in the old way, it was your place on the card dictated.
Right. So it would start from like probably the least looked forward to match up into the main event. Yeah. Which I guess is a good way of doing it.
No, well, for events that you need people to be tuned in for 4 hours time.
Yeah, you need to get their attention immediately.
Yeah. You don't, because also you can't have an opening a WWE opening and have have a stadium quarter filled because people know to not show up until the 7th out of 9th match.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Anyway, yeah, I was 100% wrong on that. My first whiff at predictions.
So it's 1-0 to me. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
one-
I'll take
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I have
let's-
no idea what the score is here because I can't. You're gonna have to remind me of some of your predictions.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you know what? I'll totally remind you that.
Yeah, we'll add that up as we
anytime.
go along. So next match was okay. Hold on, let me just look here a sec. I'm gonna say this is my favorite match of the night.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
It's
this
tough.
Is
It's
this is definitely tied for. This one is tied for first.
okay. Yeah, it was hard, but this is like, did you watch this match? Sorry, did you watch the event by yourself?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
it's the same. So did I, right? So, but when you watch wrestling by yourself, most of the time you're like sitting there and you're like, you're reacting and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of these matches, I was like edge of my seat, like
Oh,
speaking to
God.
myself. That's
Oh, yeah,
when
I
I know
was-
that I'm engaging.
It was. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I felt like I was ringside.
Yeah,
watching,
yeah.
watching all this. The energy, like it was. Everything about once again, can't stop talking about it. Everything about every one of these matches was excellent.
The crowd was
This-
hot for majority of the night, bar one match, but we'll get to that. But the crowd was so hot for especially these first two matches actually.
Yeah. We know what we get with the Brock Lesnar match. It's Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
beating up whoever he's beating up, and
Yeah.
then if they're going to win, they remarkably survive.
Yeah,
We know the formula. We love the formula. It never fails.
it does. It just doesn't.
But Cody, but they did it differently this time.
Yeah,
They found a way to do it differently. The whole Brock throwing Cody out of the ring and trying
I
to
love that. So
like,
good. It
just
did so much for Cody, man. It did.
getting
it really
him
did.
getting irritated at showing Brock getting irritated that he just won't quit.
Yeah,
even
yeah,
though like the and him almost feeling like you could see the respect that Brock Lesnar, the person, has for Cody Rhodes, the person,
yeah.
in that. But the way they played it out was just like it's like for the first time Brock didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want. It's like if you keep getting up, I'm going to keep knocking you down.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way they played it, I mean, 10 minutes of that 17-minute match was Brock Lesnar throwing Cody Rhodes out of the ring.
It was, and the crowd, when that first started, like the first few times it started to happen, when the crowd noticed that it was getting repetitive, they started to get a little bit like. There were a few boos because I think they were like, "Oh, come on, stop doing the same thing." But then they kept doing it, and then the crowd started to go like, "Oh, okay, I think I can see. What
they're doing."
here."
Yeah, exactly. Everybody caught on. For a second. They thought it was just lazy.
Yeah.
But in
exactly.
actuality, they're just like, no, we're giving you a different kind of match here.
Yeah.
Because this is a different. Because Cody Rhodes is different.
It started off I think it was Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. It was a SummerSlam. I can't remember the year, but that year when Brock just obliterated Cena, like Cena didn't even get any offense.
Yeah, the first time it was he just mauled him.
Yeah, and the start of this match reminded me of that for a period. Before
Absolutely.
The whole kind of throwing out of the ring thing,
Intention, and I think that I'm sure that's intentional.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We talked about it last time about wrestlers who, do cover moves, covering a move by another wrestler. I mean, there are legitimate series and segments in matches where we have seen now wrestlers are like, we're gonna let's just do this entire segment. Let's do this 4 or 5 move spot that is exactly the same as from this match because it's so hot and people will get it. People who get it will get it. People who don't will just think it's wild. And that I don't know if it started off exactly the same, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of had that in their mind
for sure, yeah.
Let's make it seem like I'm just going to beat the shit out of you the way I beat the shit out of John Cena that one time, but we'll just do it different, which is what he did, but we'll just do it a little differently.
Just because I'm completely obsessed with these things, the video package for this match was so damn good.
Excellent.
So damn good. I don't know what song they used, but a lot of the time in video packages they use commentary over the top, but they didn't use any commentary. They let the song be the commentary for the storyline. And man, Jesus, I'm such a sucker for freaking video packages, man.
I have to go back. I will have to go back and rewatch it, because I'll be honest, when I was watching it after a long drive back, I skipped some of the intro packages.
That's fine. Yeah.
But
I mean, I think they uploaded it onto YouTube. Maybe I'll find it and send it to you. But man, I thought it was such a good.
I'm just gonna watch it all again. I'm just gonna watch the entire SummerSlam again.
But yeah,
I'm disappointed in myself that I haven't watched it 3 times since Sunday.
Another thing is I am just so bewildered by the fact that Brock Lesnar has now been doing this for 25 years, coming up to 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's still at this just is elite next level, man. He's still in crazy shape. Watching that guy come to the ring, man, there's no other being on this planet like him. It's just
it's absolutely
terrifying.
True.
He's actually terrifying.
Yeah. There is literally no one that can compare to him.
Pat McAfee always used to say, "Is the alpha male of our species," and that it's true. It's just
absolutely true.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no one with sane or reason that could say otherwise.
Yeah, the dude's just built differently, man. He's just built different.
But anyway, overall, I mean, A+ Brock Lesnar
Such
match.
a good match, man.
I'll tell you that this actually, it finally made me care about Cody Rhodes. Entire this run with Brock Lesnar made me finally care about him again.
You're right, and I think a lot. I'll be first to say the first 2 matches they had, they weren't bad matches, but I got out of them thinking, that was okay, But sometimes really people don't want to wait for a story to get to this point. They want to rush, right? They're like, but Cody beat Brock, that should be it. Like in their first match, but no, because he beat him, and then the second time round, Brock beat him in kind of quick fashion there, so the match was short. We get it, right? But now it's like, here's the rubber match, and they went for I'll have to look how long the match went.
17 minutes and 35 seconds.
There you go. So it's a long match, man, and it served its purpose, and the rivalry served its purpose, and it was just so damn good. And by the way, Cody Rhodes is the best comebacks, man.
To the point, I finally care about Cody Rhodes because to me, he went through Brock Lesnar 2 out of 3 matches. He got his ass handed to him. He's paid his dues. He's paid, like, if they would have just brought him back and just handed him the title immediately, it would have been meaningless. He's come back. He's getting his comeuppance again. He's he doesn't get to just come in as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. All of a sudden, I'm the champion. Yada yada, because that's what AEW would do.
Yeah.
That's what they would do. That's what some other people, and it's just so cheap. It's just so simple. Why would I wouldn't want that. I don't want to be there's no point in anything that I ever do that I want to be just handed over something that's supposed to be the most meaningful thing to me.
Yeah.
I honestly believe Cody Rhodes deserves to be a champion now because he's got his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He took an insane beating multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying that everybody just has to get their ass beat to deserve something, but in this regards, yeah, he paid his dues in a way. Some people pay their dues over time. Some people pay their dues over sweat, and some people pay their dues over bruises.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like Dominic Mysterio when he first got brought in during the pandemic. Remember when he got tied up on the ropes and Seth whacked the crap out of him?
Absolutely.
That was one of those situations.
Welcome.
It's like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know about Dom, and then after that, I was like, okay, you got my respect.
Dom can handle getting lit up by some of the toughest people.
Yeah, man, exactly.
There right now, and he'll take it. And he'll come back for more. Yep. And look at him. And look at Dom now.
Look at him now. Honestly, one of the best heels in the frickin' business. Tell me I'm wrong.
Nuclear heat.
Yeah.
Nuclear heat.
So good, man.
Like the smartest, and them having them come down to NXT and just literally steal the North American title was excellent. Okay, we're not even on there yet. We are ahead of ourselves.
We'll be super remiss to not talk about the fact that Brock shook Cody's hand at the end, raised his arm and everything.
Completely
and actually,
not planned.
Yeah, Triple H said in the presser that wasn't planned at all. So that's really cool, and it's very cool of Brock to give Cody that. And it
shows such a bigger dedication to the business.
Right,
from
exactly.
Brock
Yeah. That's him being very giving right there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And to the few who deserve it. That's
exactly.
Like I would say.
Exactly.
He is definitely a measuring stick.
Yeah.
He is and the very few go up against.
Yeah. So I think you said Cody for this, right?
I was voting for Cody. Yeah,
so all right. So a 2-1.
It made the most sense. I think you voted for Lesnar on this one?
No, I said Cody.
Oh, okay. So it's 2 to 1.
2 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 to 1.
So I got a really quick note on here. My notes. I just love the. I don't know if you noticed, but when they do stadiums now, I think a lot of people complain that they don't have the massive Titantrons anymore. But I like the small entrance with the angled ramp and everything. I don't know. I just really like the layout.
They put the big one. Yeah. Oh, I love it. They put the big monitors. On the on the.
Oh
big
yeah,
posts,
exactly. It was fine, and it's just. Yeah. But I kind of like the aura of it. It's just like there's just people everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
It's so packed in. It feels great.
It definitely allows them to put more people in. For sure.
Exactly. By not having a massive Tron. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. Next match.
Next match. I was gonna say real quick. The next match was. The 25-man Battle Royal, Slim Jim Battle Royal, right?
Yeah. Oh, so WWE have a new deal with Slim Jim, by the way.
Yes, they do.
That's a thing. I don't know if you've seen the advert yet, but it's got Bianca Belair and LA Knight in it. So.
No, I haven't yet. I'm looking forward to that. Though.
Yeah, it's good. Super preface right now. Just a little side note. I'm getting at the very tail end of a cold, so if you hear me sniffing, that's what that is. I can't avoid it.
Unavoidable. Yeah, my throat's a little. I'm still recovering from the weekend of shows myself. So, I mean, this one's pretty cut and dry. It's a battle royal. LA Knight won. We knew that. We knew that's what was happening. I don't know how much time we even need to give to it, other than this was the stage for LA Knight.
Yeah.
This was to give LA Knight a big win.
Yep.
Which he deserves.
Exactly.
He's super super fucking over.
Yep.
That's what's needed.
It just served the exact purpose of what it needed. All the final few people in there were the right people to have. There were nothing too much of note to say, but
we're gonna get a couple mid card storylines out of it too.
Yeah,
probably.
And it's a battle royal it was fun. But sometimes you get battle royals that kind of fall on flat ears. This one was actually felt quite fun.
Yeah, because they put a lot of people, they put a lot of characters in there. They put Almost was in there, The Miz was in there. Everybody that was in there were good characters to be seen. By again, this is Slim. If they're doing a Slim Jim promoted match, it's because Slim Jim is paying them money, and people have got eyes on it. It's a showcase match. That's what it is. It's a showcase, and it showcased the the hottest property that they've got right now, and it's LA Knight. Whether you agree or if you or wrong, you know, it's LA Knight is super hot for all the right reasons.
Yeah, he's just one of these guys, like, you know, like we've seen many people. He's just getting over super organically with everyone. It's good to see, and crowds are super into all of his slogans and everything he has to say, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him. Everyone's going crazy about him not getting pushed quicker. We spoke about this last week, but you know, you got to build it nice and slow. And him winning a battle royal at SummerSlam is the perfect way to do it. And
you know what? They gave him time. They gave him time at the press conference too, and he said the exact same. He's like, people think this is just like a rocket, but it's like, I've been here on the main roster for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
You know, he's been on SmackDown for a while. You know, we forget about his. I don't know if a year and a half is correct. You know, someone, by all means, anyone listening can correct me in the comments. But he mentioned he's been there for a while. And I love the fact, again, that he got through what everybody was complaining and whining and crying about his Maximum Male Model entry gimmick to the main stage, and I didn't know how everyone couldn't see immediately that this was a temporary thing. Like, this was to get him who was over into a gimmick to get other people over. LA Knight has been getting people over since he showed up, and it got the Maximum Male Model thing over because of him. And then as soon as it was over, it was over out of like frustration, because people wanted to like people that loved LA Knight and who knew of him already wanted to love him, so they begrudgingly support this Maximum Male Model thing. Yeah. And the whole time openly very vocally complaining about it.
Yeah.
And to just know that like everybody got worked that whole time, like the whole. They knew from day one, they were not trying to get LA Knight over as whatever his name was in Maximum Male Model. They were trying to infuriate his vocal fan base.
Yeah.
So that people that didn't know who he was were like, why is everybody complaining about this guy in this gimmick? And then they realize how, and then as soon as it snaps, he's like, screw this, I'm going back to being me. And the pop. I mean, go back and find that Raw or whatever episode of Raw or SmackDown or whatever it was. Go find that. The pop when he broke his own character. And just like, I'm out of here. Everybody was just like, what? It was.
I love it. It was almost a breaking the fourth wall moment. It's just like, he just stopped being one gimmick and a different person, and
he's been working it since day one. And that's what I mean when you have a gimmick, when you get given something like that. Superstars, real superstars, know how to get through it. They know how to get themselves over despite a quote-unquote bad gimmick. LA Knight is the perfect example. They did it. They proved my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Once again. So good for him. He deserved that win.
Yeah, and I think we both predicted LA Knight on that one too.
Yeah,
so
we were. Yeah, I think that was our contingency, unless there was like some crazy return.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, there was Omar. Well, kind of Omos, but whatever.
Yeah, but he was. That's not a real return. I mean, like
he's
still active on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. All right, then we had. I don't even know. Did we even speak about this match? Because I don't even know. No, it was announced, right? It was announced. Shayna Baszler, but it wasn't.
It was announced.
It was announced, but it wasn't MMA rules when we did the last predictions.
Correct. I don't think there was a stipulation. Yeah, there was no stipulation on it because that came up. Yeah. I loved it. I love the fact that they made it the fact that they changed the stipulation to make it unique.
It makes story sense for the two people in the match.
It makes story sense. It makes sense because now it's something different than just a match.
Yep. Exactly.
It was, and we both. Yeah, if I'm incorrect, and I don't know, I don't think I am on this. I think we both agreed that. I think we both were.
I think we both said Shayna. Yeah.
Both were going Shayna because
That's right.
because it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Ronda
exactly.
Ronda can go away for a little while.
Yeah. Exactly.
She's not a full-time player. She's
just time for Shayna to get her due, man. Like, it's been a long time coming, and she had a spotlight on her a bit in NXT, but it's time properly now.
And of course, it is a proper time, and all of the things that they've done up into that was great. Was a great build up to it. The Shayna Ronda tag team, defiantly wanting to be tag team champions just to put prestige on the continually dying women's tag team division was smart, was excellent, and it fed, and it was easy way to get out of it too, was to have Shayna turn on Ronda. But still Ronda is like, it's such a weird play because you've got like everybody totally understands Shayna's point of view, but you're still you're trying to be sympathetic to Ronda. Yeah. And you can't because people want to hate her. It's such an interesting heel move for Ronda to be. It's such an interesting position for her to be in. Yeah. Because now she's trying to be this sympathetic face, but you're not. We know you're not. It's almost like nobody believes you. We don't believe that you actually feel bad about this because we know you're an asshole. Yeah, exactly. Shayna's fed up. Like, it was great storytelling.
They told a really good story in quite a short space of time, and I think the match was again, of all the matches on that card tonight, like on that night, probably the least best, but it wasn't bad by any means. It was different for sure, because obviously it was wrestled or contested under a different set of rules.
And in some of those strikes, I don't even know if they were pulling
I don't know
punches.
if you've seen, but Shayna Baszler has a full-on black eye, like swelling
does she?
and everything.
I can believe it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think she hurt her arm too. It wouldn't shock me at all that if these two really just did lay into each other.
I think they did. I think they, not with true intent of
no, but they've sparred with each other enough in training that they know what each other can take.
Hit each other. Also, yeah, they know that they can each hit each other hard.
Yeah.
It safely hit hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And it finally opened. Again, this was one of the few matches where I actually liked Ronda Rousey, and I liked her. I liked everything about what she did.
Yeah. When she's in a good match, man, she's in a good match. You know what I mean? So
when you find what she's good at, let her do what she's good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking still is not one of them. Talking is still not one of the things.
I just don't think it ever will be. It just doesn't work for her. So,
but yeah, super good. 7.5 minute match. Shayna on top.
Yeah, and that's a good length.
And by submission.
Style. Yeah, by submission. Yeah.
Was big.
Well, she just passed out, right? So.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Technical submission. Yep.
So, next we have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, we both. I think we were both solidly in
both
Gunther.
on Gunther. Yeah. My main note for this match is man meat slapping man meat, because that's exactly what this match was.
This was nothing but this was just raw power and two dudes just hitting each other.
Corey Graves gave the best commentary line in this match, by the way, because they're in Detroit. RoboCop, obviously based in Detroit, and he said this match was like RoboCop versus Ed 209, and I thought that was such a good freaking line. I loved it.
Yeah, Corey Graves does not. He gets a lot of credit, but he probably deserves even more credit for how good he is, especially how well he transitioned from an in-ring performer to his role. Man, he really came into it. He is just so superior. So such a good color guy, and his character. He always he's a kind of, he always makes a lot of like metal and punk rock references with stuff. So like, obviously I get into those because I get those references.
Exactly. Yeah,
But-
it's good when you're into that kind of niche stuff and
Yeah.
he makes a little reference that most people won't get, and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, what do you say about it? It's everything you wanted. They hit each other hard.
Exactly,
and Gunter,
man.
And Gunter just smashed the shit out of Drew at the end to
So good.
to
There
take-
was
to
one
continue-
Claymore because he hit a Claymore and it was such a close fall. I genuinely
yeah.
thought that was it. But besides that, yeah, it's exactly everything you wanted from this match. So freaking good. The Intercontinental Championship means something again, and
Yeah.
it really means something again.
For
it's
sure.
I think you said last week, it's at a point now where it really actually could headline a pay-per-view. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see a headline pay-per-view.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's before the end of the year even.
Well, we've got Payback coming up, right? So why not at Payback? And I don't. You know what? I wouldn't see
Payback. Because Payback is going to be. Well, we'll get to a match that will probably be on Payback.
Yeah. So I feel like Roman is probably going to take some time off now. I don't think he'll be at Payback. This would be a perfect time right now with the big with Gunther coming up to him beating the record.
Right.
What better time to have him main event? I don't know what.
When is the record?
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But to have him main event that pay-per-view as a big milestone of him beating the all-time record, that'd be great,
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure we'll coordinate that. We'll find out when that is. But he's getting close to it.
He's getting
and
close.
We know he's going to. One of the things you kind of know when you get to something like this, it's like he's holding on and he's going to beat that record.
Yeah.
So anyone that's going to face him is not going to win.
Exactly.
But I still want to know how he went.
I just really want I guess my only fear after this title run is that in the past we've had people hold this championship and like the Miz or Seth, for example, held this title, made it really mean something, and then they lose it to someone, and then it kind of squanders and disappears into the card again.
Yeah.
And whoever does beat him, it can really be anyone, but it needs to be able to continue. Like, the fact that they beat Gunther needs to be a staple of that person's bragging rights at that point.
Right.
And that needs to go on to yeah, I don't know. It just I just hope that the championship keeps its spot on the card as this amazing.
Gunther versus Brock Lesnar for the Intercontinental title.
Jesus Christ! Don't do that to me. I just wanted it so bad. I just wanted it so bad.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah, take all my money.
Yeah.
But yeah,
solid
match, so good. Everything.
Match.
It gave you. Sometimes you just want when you expect things from a match, you just want them, and it just gave you everything you wanted.
And that's exactly what it was. Everybody knew Gunther was winning.
Yeah.
We wanted, but we still wanted to see it.
Yeah.
We still wanted to watch Gunther defeat Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, because they're so damn entertaining. Especially we got two people like that. They're just massive dudes that are just gonna beat the crap out of each other. That's all you want. It's all you want. You don't even care who wins. It's just you want that. All right. So next match of the night was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's right.
And now I'm looking at my notes for this match. I'm like, nah, actually, this was my favorite match of the night.
It's hard.
Oh man. Yeah. And I didn't expect it to be. I won't lie to you. I love this storyline. I think it's great. But it wasn't a match I was really, really looking forward to. They're always going to put on a great match. They always do, these two guys, right? But oh man, just so
yeah,
good.
It's very, very similar. This was a match that I was expecting. I was expecting to just be a good match, and
right.
And this is now Seth versus Finn Balor 2 or 3, 4.
I guess. Well, maybe
5,
on Raw and stuff. But
the
the important ones. We got this match. We got the match from last month, the Money in the Bank, and we've got the one from 7 years ago.
And
those
7
are the
years
three
ago.
that really matter. Yeah.
Right. Those are the ones that really truly matter.
Yeah.
It was interesting how they weaved the storyline together, and especially with all the Money in the Bank stuff with Damian Priest involved.
Man,
it's such a complicated story.
But this is what I'm saying, man. Like, look, it's got to be since Triple H took over, because the complexities of storylines are getting more and more complex. Not to the point you can't understand them, but just the weaving and intertwining of stories is just being done so well in the last year.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things where it's like I wasn't necessarily not looking forward to this match. I was absolutely looking forward to it.
Same.
But I think it was because this match was the one where I was the least sure of who I thought was going to win. Like, it was I really didn't know how this was going to play out. And so it just all took me by surprise. It was so much more. It was so much more enjoyable. And I've talked to you about this, in the past, and I've said this to other people. It's so much more enjoyable when I don't actually know
exactly.
When we talked about Gunther versus Drew. We knew Gunther was going to win. We knew it. Yeah. Everybody knew it.
Yeah.
It was still fun to watch him work. But when you really truly don't know, when it gets to the point in the match where you even think you know, and then they switch. They keep you.
Right.
They kept everybody guessing and questioning as to what was going on. Amazing. Like you said, amazing, the complexity of everything. The tension that they had between Damian and Finn. That. Ahead of time,
because obviously Damian, he wanted to give him the briefcase, and Finn was just like not taking it. And
right,
basically
the miscommunication.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's also. But before we move to that, one of the things that I love so much about that storyline and the angles that they have with that is that is a solvable problem within their group. Their communication issues can be worked on. So it's an easy way. It's easy to make it look like there's cracks, and then to patch them up. Yeah, exactly. If you actually just
that's the thing, and they kind of did. There was after Money in the Bank, things were a bit weird, and then by the Raw after Money in the Bank, they hugged at the end, and everything was okay.
Right.
And now we're another pay-per-view later, and again we're at the same spot.
The look on Damian's face at the end was it's
actually
wonderful.
Become a bit of a meme. I've seen a few memes of that face.
It's got to be at this point. But that's exactly how everybody sold it emotionally, the best they could. Like, Damian's just disgust, because this is what's happening. I guess what we were talking about before. Damian. There's no real leader in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, there was a great moment in the press conference of Triple H saying just that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did.
And then he goes through all the members.
It's definitely not Dom.
It's definitely not Dom. Yeah, I don't think anyone's disputing that.
That's brilliant. Finn Balor is really a detriment. He's the only one that's been losing in.
He's the weak link in the Judgment Day.
Finn Balor is the weak link of Judgment Day.
Who'd have thunk that?
He's not paying attention to what was going on. It's his own distractions are what he is his own worst enemy in this.
I guess it's his own ego getting in the way, because if you think about it, at Money in the Bank, Damian was in the Money in the Bank match to get the Money in the Bank. Finn, it's not like Finn didn't get that shot. Finn was in the world title match.
Finn
himself.
just lost. Finn just
exactly.
Lost. Yeah. This is but what the hell kind of Finn Balor are we going to get next? Really what is really, because I can see this. This is the obsession. Finn Balor's obsession with isn't just with the title. It's with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And
it is.
And that is causing him to lose, because he's, it's. I don't know what's going to change, but like that is definitely, I can see that being the catalyst of.
Yeah.
If they're gonna kick him out, they're gonna kick him out just like they kicked Edge out for Finn.
Yeah, for being the weak link.
For being
His
the
use
weak link.
was they had his use, and then he got rid of him.
Yeah.
And I also love in this storyline. God, it's something I love in a lot of storylines whenever they do it, and they've been doing it more recently, which is great. Is nods and mention of things that not only happened like a few months ago, but happened years ago.
Oh yeah.
When they were talking about the match from 7 years ago, Seth comes out in the vest that he wore into that match.
But just the fact,
it.
I mean, just the fact that when Seth came out 7 years ago after Finn had to relinquish the title, and laughed at him, it was just Seth being Seth laughing. It wasn't, obviously you couldn't script 7 years into the future for that.
Exactly.
For another. But just the fact that they have something, again, the beauty of professional wrestling and how good these people are for as long as they are.
Yeah.
They've been able to pull from something from 7 years ago that it just so happened.
Yeah, exactly.
If Seth didn't walk out there and laugh in his face, they wouldn't have that. They wouldn't have this angle. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and plus you need to, it's such a good thing that you can keep going for as long as these guys are around. You could have Finn eventually beat Seth for the world title on his retirement match. You know what I mean? And then relinquish the title because he's retiring. But then he finally got what he wanted.
Yeah,
there's so many ways you could play it.
There's a lot of. Well, wait, is that a thing that's being talked about?
No. That's just off the top of my head.
Okay, I was gonna say because I am, for anyone listening who does, I come from a place of I don't read dirt sheets, I don't read spoilers, I don't go on, I barely even will follow professional wrestlers because I can't stand the comment sections. So I don't know when contracts are up. I don't know,
no.
None of that stuff. I just watch what I watch.
I'm the same. Well, we watch wrestling in a very similar manner, and that is just watching the week to weeks and not. I don't read no dirt sheets. I don't want to know what's going on backstage. I don't want, because if I know that stuff, I'm like, I'll know, who's going to win matches and stuff. I don't want to know. Why would you watch a season of the NBA and support the Lakers and know who's going to win what match every single match?
Exactly. There's more. It's
more enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the match.
Yeah, back to the match. We had there was a pedigree after Damien came out, and I swear to you, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I don't normally think matches are over from moves that aren't finishing moves, but I really did think that was it.
Yeah, it could have been.
We had a curb stomp, and Finn kicked out of a curb stomp, which is big because not many people do kick out a curb stomp.
Yeah, the first curb stomp he kicked out.
Yeah.
The beauty of that, the smoothness of that ending with Damien just been like, I'm trying to tell you, hit him with the briefcase.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to
dumped
cash
it in the ring, walked
like,
around the ring
here's
slowly,
the briefcase,
and got the ref.
and walking away. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And it finally clicked in his mind, and that's what's also crazy about that is like Finn finally got it. He was like, oh, you weren't trying to cash in and make this. You were trying to give this to me to hit him in the head with it. I got it. Duh.
Yeah.
And then he gets his head stomped in.
Exactly.
Let's
forget Seth
brilliant.
kicked out of a coup de grace as well, which I thought the coup de grace was it, and it wasn't. So
again, so many times. But back to what we said earlier. This was the match where I really truly had no idea.
Exactly.
It could have easily been Finn. They could have ended the storyline there, and it could be all right. Judgment Day is all dominant, and then the story is just. Well,
then
is
we got
Damien
Finn as champion, and is Damien going to cash in?
Is Damien going to cash in on Finn, or is Damien going to hold out until someone else, or is Damien going to cash in for somebody else?
Or for another so they have another championship.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I feel like everyone in the Judgment Day right now, their common goal, well, at least for Damien, Rhea, and Dominic, their goals are, we want the Judgment Day to be dominant. We want all the gold, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Finn is just like, I want the gold. and I want the same gold that Damien wants, and that's
right.
the problem.
And I guess that's partially why they were making the distinction of this match is more about his revenge for 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not going after the title to go after the because it's one of those weird. He's not going after the title in this instance because he wants the title. He wants to take it away from Seth.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
the fact that it's attached to Seth, that's what makes it. You know.
That's
you got to think that if, so say for example, Damien did cash in the briefcase, win the world title off Seth, you know, then the world title was in the Judgment Day. But you know, it would be cool then to see where Finn's allegiance lies. Like, would he just be like, oh, cool, the Judgment Day has the world title?
Yeah.
Or would he have his eyes on the world title and Damien? So that's another dynamic too. And also what you could have is if Damien did win the world title, you really wanted to go all in with the Judgment Day, is have Damien win the world title, and then after Gunther's passed his record, you could have the Judgment Day cost Gunther the world title, the Intercontinental title, and have Finn beat him for it.
That's
out there.
Ooh, that is a good way. Yeah, there's
because
definitely
it's like a
ways of getting the
4-on-1
IC title.
situation.
I still think that this, if we are going to go towards a Finn versus Damien angle,
yeah,
this is just my projection for the Finn versus Damien angle, if that's the way they go, is that Finn will cost Damien the match when he tries to cash in. Damien will not successfully cash in the Money in the Bank. Like, it's great. It's the Money in the Bank briefcase is great because it's now established. It's now gotten to the point where you're not always going to win. You know that they're not always going to win.
Yeah.
Because it creates the ability to have a storyline like this where inner turmoil is going to be the downfall, and it's going to cost Damien at that time. Exactly. And then we're going to have and then they'll kick, and then that'll be when they kick Finn out of Judgment Day, and then it's Finn Balor versus Damian Priest angle for a bit, you know, or you know, it's just the same thing. Now it's Finn versus the new Judgment Day, just like it was Edge versus the original Judgment Day.
Yeah.
You can do that again because it was great.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean Finn Balor and Edge teaming up against Damian Priest, Damian and Dom at some point for a.
The other element here. So the last thing on my notes for this match, was. My last note just says Finn Balor's getting kicked out on Raw. I obviously haven't seen Raw yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen Raw yet either. I might get to that
that's
tonight.
my vibe. But I still stick by it. I still think JD McDonough is going to be a part of this, some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I definitely
please let
agree.
it happen. It just makes so much logical sense, and stories are making a lot of logical sense lately. So I think to have JD McDonough involved in this somehow, having him replace Finn or be part of it for a while, then kick Finn out, I don't know, but getting him involved would be really good right now. So
yeah, I could see,
and it would do wonders for him. And name me another faction in history that has done so much to get over every single person in that faction.
Oh yeah, they are, and each individually in their own way. Again, each individually in their own way.
Because normally
Just
it's
like
like
these
one
matches.
legend running the faction and getting a few people. But this is like all newcomers. I guess Edge did start, but they've all gotten each other over here. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good to see,
Yeah, it is. It's got a real. It has a real Shield vibe to it too.
It does a little way, yeah.
In that way,
yeah.
I mean, really, at this point, Finn Balor is the iconic one. The more iconic one in the group,
course,
because
he's been around the longest.
He's the tenured one, but you've got it's kind of evolution, in a way. There's a little evolution there. There's a little Shield.
A little bit of DX because they're kind of rebellious and a bit kind of
taking the pieces from each of
each
of the best factions. Dude,
NWO because they're kind of cool.
I'm so happy that factions are still thriving, and we're seeing even more
It's so
rising.
good, man.
Let's just rewind for a second to SmackDown.
Yeah.
With the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, boy.
Because
What's
we didn't see
going
because
on
they were,
here?
none of them were on SummerSlam. It would be remiss if we didn't just say holy fucking shit.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know what that's leading to, but that's cool.
I mean, if this is a new Hurt Business, you call it the new Hurt Business or whatever you want to call it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
I'm here for it.
One thing that's definitely noticeable that since Triple H is taking over lead on creative,
factions.
He's really brought factions back. He loves factions, and I love factions too. So
was it one of the arguably top four, top three. I would say top three of all time influential wrestling factions.
Yeah, for sure. Factions are so good. They're good.
Four Horsemen, Fabulous Freebirds. DX, NW.
There's so many.
You can say
NWO.
I won't classify the NWO. I will say the NWO, the original NWO.
The original three.
When it was the original three. As soon as there was more than 5 people, it's no longer a faction. It's just
before there were like 30 members.
It's no longer a faction. So maybe top 4. I mean, you can say what you want about whether the NWO is more influential than DX, but DX, the NWO was what got the NWO was what made WCW beat WWF,
right.
But
right,
DX
exactly.
is what brought it back.
Yeah, DX, exactly.
DX is what brought it back. So I'll put DX. This is a total tangent that we can discuss in depth at a later time.
It's a good subject.
Yeah.
Very freaking good subject.
Best factions. Anyway,
but at the moment having like LWO, we've got Judgment Day. We had the Bloodline for the longest time. You know, we had for a brief period had the Maximum Male Models.
Yeah, we got. I think they're still. I think Maximum Male Models are still on the roster.
Yeah, I hope so. Cause
I think they're doing
great,
dark. I think they're doing like the dark matches and superstars and stuff.
But you know, we had during the time of the show in Puerto Rico, we had like proper like faction warfare between the LWO and Judgment Day and
even
so good.
NXT's got factions going on with
exactly
with what's his I don't know
Angelica I can't remember his name. The Italian guy.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah. Which, you know, we'll talk more about NXT at another time too.
Yeah.
Let's not get too far.
It's clear, like Triple H coming from NXT with the Undisputed Era and so on. Like he's come to the main roster and he's brought that with him, and I love that.
Absolutely. So
adds more depth.
Bottom line though, amazing match for the storyline.
So
Seth is still just being Seth. He's only involved in this because Finn is coming after him. You know,
pretty much. Yeah, he's not done anything.
And now, and I don't know what don't know what's happening this week, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Who's next for Seth? Don't know.
Nope,
Can't wait to find out.
Yep, exactly. I'm really enjoying his title run. I actually am.
Yeah, that was the second longest match of the night, running at 18 minutes and 30 seconds.
Cool.
Just 30 seconds longer than Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Wow, look at that. That says a lot about Logan Paul right there, to be honest with you.
And Logan Paul and Ricochet. I mean, Ricochet. Primarily, and I mean, let's give Ricochet deserves so much credit for that too. But anyway, that's all right. On to what's next.
The only one last note on that match.
Oh yeah.
All I've got, it just says, when wrestling's done well, it's the best thing in the world.
That's exactly right.
And that match is a perfect example of that, I think.
It completely takes you out of
the real world.
Yeah.
I worked into a shoot.
Yep, absolutely. And I have to know what's next. I have to know.
Exactly.
Not just want to, I have to.
Next match was Asuka versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's World the Women's Championship.
Yes, WWE Women's Championship. Yeah. 20 minutes and 45 seconds.
Long match.
Second longest match of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. Good match. Fun match. And would you say expected outcome?
Well, this match, I enjoyed a lot of it. I will say I didn't watch all 20 minutes and 45 seconds of it.
Sure.
So there's definitely some. I want to spend some time and go back and rewatch it to give it proper credit.
Yeah.
But from what I did catch with all of it, everybody got their spots in. I loved the end. I definitely loved the ending.
The ending was so good. I really enjoyed the ending.
It was definitely it wasn't my choice. Because I think I voted for Asuka.
Yeah.
I think so.
Did, yeah.
Yeah, just because I loved this new Asuka version, and I just wanted her to continue to be dominant and make everybody chase her. But the way they finished it, for Bianca to win, and it's always tough. It's always tough in triple threat matches when someone is out of the match for part of the match, too, and like there's a big comeback. I don't know what I'm even trying to get here. It was totally. I guess it was totally expected. It wasn't what I to get to the actual answer of what question. It was the expected outcome. I expected Bianca Belair to win the title.
Right.
Even though I wanted Asuka to win, and so I was predicting with my heart and not my mind. But I loved the way they ended it. The
ending was great with the figure four and the mist. Yeah. And oh man, it was great. It was so good. Everybody in that match was tight. Like it was a smooth match as much as I saw for a triple threat match. There was enough time. There was enough time that everybody got each. There was enough Bianca versus Asuka. There was enough Asuka versus Charlotte. There was enough Charlotte versus Bianca. There was enough 2-on-1s. There was everything. There was everything. I didn't expect Bianca to win the championship. I did not expect that. Just obviously for Io Sky to obviously come out and cash in.
Yeah, the cash in at the end was, but that's why I love the way they did it, because I was expecting what I was expecting was, once I saw the writing, once you saw Bianca injured in the match and then having a tough time, it's like, okay, she's gonna have her comeback. I know this is happening, and I thought that was gonna be the end. I thought that was just gonna be the end. She was gonna win, completely forgetting, because again, when you get back so engrossed into it, you completely forget about everything else. I completely forgot Io Sky had the Money in the Bank, and the best way to win is against an injured champ, someone who is injured after just going through that. It was so smart because I got worked. They worked
exactly. You forget, and that's the beauty of the Money in the Bank. Like, when we went to SummerSlam in Brooklyn a few years ago, like at the time, Braun was the Money in the Bank holder, and I freaking my love affair with Braun, but
yes.
Yeah. So, but when his music hit, I absolutely lost my mind because it wasn't even crossing my mind that he could come out and cash in. And when it happens, you just lose your mind.
Yeah, you literally and back again, thinking to our discussion about them giving the time for all of this. That's, like I said, I did miss a few minutes of the match. But they gave them 20 minutes. And the triple, and they had this match was a different type of match than every other match. That again was why this SummerSlam was so incredible from the beginning to end. It literally has everything in it. Everything about WWE, every single thing there is about WWE was in SummerSlam this year.
Yeah, and no one left the show looking weaker. No one left the show looking buried. For
everybody came out. Everybody won. Everybody.
And also,
everybody
one
won,
thing
except
I'll say,
Drew McIntyre.
but I feel like, some other companies, that's all I'll say, rely too heavily on stipulation matches. You do a big pay-per-view match, and a good 3 to 4 matches on that card are going to be stipulation, weapons-based matches.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they just don't need to do that. You could have 9 matches, all straight up wrestling matches.
Yeah.
And it can get the crowd going more because the storytelling storytelling's done well.
Yeah.
That's all you need. All you need.
Logan Paul versus Ricochet, singles match. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, singles match. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre, singles match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, singles match. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, singles match.
Yeah.
All extreme. Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey, singles match. Every single match was a singles match. Like, you want to talk about, people were complaining about there not being a tag team match. There's no tag team stories right now, so we don't need a tag team match. There's nothing. We don't need to showcase it. That is the only thing that they didn't show, as far as everything there is of WWE, is pretty much the tag match. But we'll get to that. Yeah,
we'll get to that.
The stories were what drove this, and it was every story was perfectly executed. 20-minute triple threat match, and it was one. I mean, it was like I said, everything I saw was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was so good, and
Io coming out,
Bayley coming out. I think it was the best. Yeah, and it's cool to see that the fact that the damage control. I mean, there was cracks showing at Money in the Bank, but it seems like things there are okay now. But although I do see maybe Bayley now maybe going for that title, maybe.
I really believe that they're gonna go back around because everybody loves them. Everybody loves damage control, so they're not going to be heels anymore. Like, they're just
true.
I think we're gonna get another. We might get a new bitter, angry Bianca Belair that might get back to a little more aggressive, and she was starting to go down that road, and I think this might push her over the edge. So I'm once again this. I keep saying it over and over again because it's true. The last match did it. I stopped caring about Charlotte. I really didn't care much about Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
I finally was interested in Asuka again, and this whole thing made me care about all of these people more than I did before. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it definitely served its purpose for the women's division and for every woman involved in this match, to be honest with you. So.
And Io, I think it's great that she gets to have her spotlight now too.
Yeah. I mean, same.
We can say there's this and that and who deserves it and whatever, but within the women's division, she is up at the top. Like, she's incredible at what she does. And I love seeing her, like, her genuine reaction. It was like,
exactly. Whenever someone wins their first title, they can't help but show their pure, genuine reaction to it. Yeah, and I love that. They're always good moments when things like that happen. And
a great lead in. I mean, there was no sleeper matches on this at all either. There's only one match left.
Oh boy, was there! This match, man. Like, between each match, like, obviously I knew it was going to be the last one, but between each match, it just kept coming in my mind as like, I cannot fucking wait for this match.
Yeah,
because what a match! So good.
36 minutes and 5 seconds on the runtime. So
if you take the match after the match, the entrances, the announcing of the challenger and a champion, the video package, this is like an hour of the pay-per-view.
It is
just full-fledged hour of the pay-per-view.
It was
but it deserves
astonishing.
It 100% deserves it.
Yeah, there were a lot, because again, this is one of those pay-per-views where there's a lot of new eyes on it for reasons. They brought out everything. They brought out the best of the best.
Yep.
with the production, with everything along the way. The story. This has been. This is. It's hard to say this, but like this SummerSlam might have been better than at least one of those days of WrestleMania this year. Like,
I think it was. I mean, day one of WrestleMania was. I loved it. I think it's probably one of my favorite shows this year. That would take a lot of thinking about, but. This is definitely better for me. For me, it was better than night 2. There was a lot I loved about night 2.
Yeah,
but
I think it is. Yeah, I think this was better than. I think this was better than that.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about WrestleMania pretty soon off pod.
That's a lot to
because we need to make some plans this week. But let's finish it up. Let's finish this up here.
This match so good. I mean, like, come on, like every single match that's involved the Bloodline storyline since forever has just been just every match with it's just what are they doing that and it keeps getting brought up, but like everyone keeps describing what they're putting on right now as cinema, and it is.
It's
absolutely just cinema, man.
The character development, the amount of emotions that they are able to portray, not just in the fighting, not just in the fighting in the matches, but like when they're looking at each other across the ring before it starts, and you can truly see that, like, it's believable that neither one of them actually wanted to be doing this. Like it was the characters don't want to be fighting amongst themselves. But this is just the way it is, and when you as the tribal chief, you have to do tribal chief shit. And sometimes and tribal chief shit is anything that it takes to remain the tribal chief. They told such a good story about the complexities of family dynamics within this. That's one of the things that I want to like bring up. Just not just this match, but the Bloodline storyline over the course of the years or so has been really, really, it's been really well thought out, as to how they want to portray the family idea within that, and the difficulties that you really do have within families between brothers and cousins, and people that come into the family through other people, in-laws and things that affect the way you behave.
It's almost like before the shows that they're having the meeting, a production meeting about the show and all the things that are going to happen on it, and then they have the Bloodline meeting about how they're going to approach the storyline, because I feel like every little intricate part of it is so meticulously gone over, and it's too good to be true. Actually, a lot of this, because to have a storyline go on for 3 years, and for people to still be so engaged that they want to keep tuning in every week to see what's going to happen next, man. You know what? Screw it. When has that actually even happened in wrestling in general?
It has not ever happened until Roman Reigns. It's why Roman Reigns is going to be considered the greatest of all time by everyone whose opinions will matter in the end.
Paul Heyman said it, and I can't remember verbatim what he said, but he basically did say that Roman Reigns is operating. He's playing a different game to everyone else.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
It's reinventing the wheel where it comes to how you tell a story of professional wrestling, and I think he's completely right. He is
100%. And it comes from a number of people who have been doing this for so many years, who know what they're doing. And being able to have people that you can trust to have the best interest of the story. The story is what gets over. The character is what gets over. If you're not entertaining the crowd, you're not doing your job. And you don't have to when you can go outside of what is so rigidly considered by some people as the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
that's when you wind up winning and blowing people away with stuff. WWE is the best at it because they're willing to take risks, calculated
and willing
risks at time.
to really take time with something, man.
Yeah.
And this is the first storyline where I really feel like they've really just not listened to anything else but themselves and gone, we're going to tell this story as slowly and clearly and well as possible.
And you know what? It's been a very long time since they've been given the time to do that either. Because you know, and now there's been people that will complain or comment on, oh well, WWE they just kill storylines all the time. It's like, well, they kill bad storylines all the time. Like, they know when it's really good, and you know those storylines are bad. Like, so why are you complaining about them killing the bad storylines?
Sometimes it just needs to happen.
Sometimes what you think is a bad storyline is really meant for something else.
Right.
That's the difference. Like, the who were the guys when Dominik Dijakovic came up in the mask and those guys? Retribution, and everybody's garbage takes on that. We're like, he's such a good you're exactly right. Dijakovic is amazing. I've loved his NXT work. I love what he's doing now. You know what? That wasn't about. It wasn't about bringing Dominik Dijakovic or Dijak or whatever. It wasn't about bringing him up. It was about giving the person experience on a different level, working with top tier, working on live television. You know that with the top talent. And learning. Like it never makes sense to me why people are so quick to criticize those angles that they bring up. You know, and it's. I'll before, without going too far in this tangent, this will be the last I talk about it. But you know how I feel about Adam Cole and the whole angle they were gonna. I don't even know what it was. They were gonna. The rumor was they were gonna make him a manager. And that's right. Well,
here's the deal,
and
man.
he should have taken it because that wasn't going to be. He should have taken it because that's not what it was going to be forever. That was what it was going to be to get him in the door, to get him in front of people.
I got to say one.
That's exactly what they did with LA Knight.
That's
what
exactly
LA
what
Knight
I was
has
about to
right
say.
now is what Adam Cole threw away, and I'm going to put that out there.
That's what he could have had.
Yeah.
And I bet you any money that Adam Cole has to look over at the WWE right now and go, well, crap.
Yeah,
because maybe that could have been me.
I want that out. I want that out into the world. I stand by that enough, and I don't mean it from a criticizing him as a person for what his decision was. Whatever. But when you think that was what it was about, if you really quit over that because then he really didn't get it, and he really didn't deserve to be in WWE because he doesn't understand it. And go and do the thing. If he's happy doing what he's doing, fuck yeah. My opinion about him doesn't matter. But for everybody that complains about the thing with him, they were going to give him a manager gimmick. Well, yeah, they were going to give him something to put him on live TV and have him work with the top talent, and then find out what he can be next. Exactly. LA Knight is exactly what Adam Cole could have been. And anybody that disagrees with me is wrong.
Plus, while LA Knight was doing that role, it seems like to me he had a good opportunity there, and he took it to get in really good shape. Because when he got his trunks back on, he looked in way better shape than he did in NXT. So I feel like it gave him a good opportunity to look better as well. When he gets that call up to be LA Knight again, he's like, boom, here I am, and I look amazing. You know? And you know, anyone who might hear that take might have opinions on my take about that, but I'll stand by that. For anyway, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to say about the match? The match in general as a whole, like. Great match, weapons, a lot of weapons-based stuff, good stuff. You know, just fun.
Using it enough.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, nothing crazy. Good tables and chairs and kendo sticks.
Yeah,
and all the fun stuff.
They allowed an escalation. It wasn't like, okay, this is tribal. The tribal combat is just a no DQ, no count out. I understand that, but the
meat and potatoes of this is obviously Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, we get right down to the end. The end result was it was an amazing battle. It was tribal combat in in however you want to imagine it.
Right.
This was an amazing match, a tough match, deserving amount of time, and some people, my buddy Dan has his opinions on the outcomes and of that. I firmly love it because again, it goes back to the complexities of family interpersonal relationships.
So was his complaint about the fact that Jimmy attacked Jay?
Yeah, his a take that is similar was why would Jimmy come back and help Roman after they just beat him up a couple, put him out. Right. And it's like because it's not about Jimmy and Jay, or it's not about Jimmy and Roman in the bloodline.
Yeah.
It is about Jimmy and Jay now.
So let me
and this is where we're going.
This. So Jimmy did not help Roman. Jimmy was not there to help Roman. Jimmy was there to take his brother out.
Exactly.
And despite his brother. That's all that matters. Jimmy is not with Jay. Jimmy is not with Roman. Jimmy's not with Solo or Paul Heyman. He's by himself.
Yeah.
He's doing this for his own self. Now, here's the deal. How do you get to this point? It's simple. He was fighting his back with... Let's not forget, there was a promo not too long ago where Jimmy was out there and Jay, and he was screaming at Jay saying like, you took the spotlight, you're main event Jey Uso, I'm this, I'm that, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then when he was like, when I got my DUI and you're the one that pulled me out, everything like that. And then obviously they turned on Roman, they were together. But the things that Jimmy said about Jay and his jealousy about Jay
was all true.
Clearly, it was all true, and those things are still standing in his mind. So not only that, a few weeks ago, Jimmy Uso gets taken out by Solo and injured, right? Put on the shelf. Jay, after that, barely mentions Jimmy, goes for the world title, calls himself main event Jey Uso, doesn't say anything about Jimmy at all. While Jimmy's sitting on the shelf, he's like, well, cool, I'm injured, that's it? Like, you're just gonna forget about me and go after the world title now, and that's
it was, and it took them no.
That's the story.
It took them no time to get to that either because they had so much other stuff to work on to build up to. Like
exactly,
they knew they were gonna go to this. They knew they were gonna go to Jimmy versus Jay after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We didn't know where they were gonna go. But they set those seeds up, and immediately when exactly right when they did that whole speech about the before and he's like, he was gonna make it seem like they were just kicking Jay out of the bloodline, and then they turn around and he turns around and kicks Roman and they both leave. Everything he said was correct, but oh shit, I lost where I was going with it. We're still on the same. It doesn't matter. We're on the same. We're on the same page here.
Right. Yeah.
They knew. They knew. That's what it was. They already knew they were going to go there afterwards.
Oh, for sure,
man. They knew they were going to go there before.
I don't doubt that they have so much of this planned out, and everything we've seen already, so much of it planned out, and Paul Heyman said, he made a baseball reference, and I'm English and I don't get it, but he said something about being in the third innings. This bloodline storyline, and but
third
what
inning,
I read,
3 of 9. American baseball has 9 innings.
Right, there you go. I don't know that.
Yes.
So
what he's basically saying is this is the end of the first act. In a sense
that's
of
just
like
insane.
To think that they have a play like, but of course they do. They have a now this I've been told this by someone who used to work for WWE, and I don't know if I'm at liberty to say that. It's probably fine to be at liberty to say things like this. I had a source, and they once told me that they have contingent, like this was years and years ago. They had a contingency folder of like when Kurt Angle, like before Kurt Angle returned to WWE under Legends, like this was long ago, and they just have these storylines and contingencies of like, well, what if we can bring Angle back by SummerSlam? Well, what if we can bring him back by next year's WrestleMania? Well, what if we can bring him back?
Just in case, because you never know.
So they have, and the only reason I bring this up is that they have they have writers that do think of some of these things long term, just so that they can pick things up as they organically grow. You know, it can go many ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been sowing the seed. So where's it going to go next? It's going to be there may not be a bloodline anymore. The bloodline may be done. It's just Roman. It's just Roman with Solo as his backup, and
things between him and Solo are weird as well. There was something weird there between those two. Yeah,
but once Solo doesn't have the distraction of his brothers trying to turn him against Roman, and even when that does happen, and that might inevitably happen, we see Solo versus Roman. That's gonna be a big push for Solo as a single. Again, we don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's why I love it. It's because I don't know.
Exactly. And what I'd love to see, I mean, obviously now we're going to get Jimmy, but at some point, we don't know when, but at some point, as I think I said last week, I'd love to see this story go on like Kane and Undertaker, where Undertaker refused to touch his brother.
Yeah.
Even if his brother attacked him, he wouldn't attack him back.
Yeah,
that should be how this goes. And they don't face until WrestleMania next year.
You can call that. I'll call it with you there. I mean, I can definitely see that wanting to harken back to the, because they already did it with. It's the same with Ray and Dominic's angle. It's like, I'm not going to fight my son. I'm not going to fight my son. Oh, but you disrespected your mother. Now I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, you little punk.
Exactly.
It was great, and it's gonna, there'll be something. There'll be something that maybe it's something to do with Solo that finally triggers it. We don't know, but it's not gonna have anything to do with the title. Which
I'm just so damn excited to see SmackDown this week.
Yeah.
I mean, the microphone interaction, the promo interaction between Jay and Jimmy is going to be some must-see television, man. That's going to be so damn good.
Because they're good at, they're definitely good at being on the mic.
Yeah. That's going to be gold, watching those two spar against each other, because they're going to bring up loads of personal stuff. I'd love to see their dad get involved. Rikishi's definitely going to get shorty at this point.
There's going to be, didn't even think about that. We're going to have more family involved in this.
Yeah.
But this was, overall, super solid. One of the best pay-per-views by far I've seen in like top 5 pay-per-views in the last decade. I would put this as, honestly.
It was great pay-per-view, but I will say
just on solid everything.
For 2023, man, there has not been a single bad pay-per-view. Like, not one is a sleep. You can't sleep on any one of them, man.
This is what happens when you keep the right people involved.
Yeah, it's just every single pay-per-view. You can go back and look at the cards, and I did the other day, and I was like, Christ, like every single pay-per-view is kicking out of the park, man. That freaking, a Backlash with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, like that seems like so long ago, and it was only a few months. It was in May. I think.
I know.
Just like, it's just so much is happening so quickly, but the stories are being told so well, and there's just not a bad pay-per-view this year. Normally you get like one, you can sleep on that one, and it wasn't great, but it's just been so good.
This is sort of and we'll probably see a bust and a downturn at some point, but this is I feel like WWE and their storytelling is at a point where the Marvel franchise was right around the Infinity War saga, where all these things are tying together. Everything is just fitting together so well.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, a really quick note that I saw actually a few hours before we recorded, this SummerSlam event was the highest grossing pay-per-view that they've ever done outside of a WrestleMania.
Really? That's 100% believable. Yeah.
It's the highest grossing ever outside of WrestleMania.
It should have been
of all time.
Yeah. It deserved it.
Yeah, and just boom, a freaking great pay-per-view. I cannot wait for Payback. I cannot wait for.
Speaking of Payback, there is one thing that we didn't discuss before we started recording, and that is our Payback Rewind episode. that we have to
Very
determine.
good,
So
very
we've got to spin. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna figure this out live.
Yeah,
while recording. We've got to figure out how many. So I went to the payback page first of all, to the current this year's payback to find out, because I wasn't sure how long ago it started.
So we have
2013.
2013.
Well,
so it's
we just need to know how many How many were there total?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's been 6 in history.
Oh, there's been 6. There's only been 6 paybacks.
So we need one out of 6.
So we just wrote. Chris, you want to get you want to get a die? Yeah, get a D6.
All right. This
is how us.
Wait, I literally have a bag of dice right next to me.
We are punks that talk about wrestling, but we also are D&D nerds who are punks who talk about wrestling. So when we do these recaps, we're going to just roll a D&D die. I don't know if we say D&D. I don't care. We're gonna roll the dice to determine what previous pay-per-view we review before the next pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Yeah, if anyone's listening, just to let them in on what we're doing
just to get the
here.
context. We'll normally release that review pay-per-view the week before the actual pay-per-view.
And we've kind of established. I mean, I think we're gonna shoot for every other week at this point. Maybe more. Maybe
for
more
the
as
moment.
time. As time permits. But primarily, we're gonna focus on the WWE pay-per-views right now, because there's a lot to go through. And we'll be doing one episode where we review a previous pay-per-view. That's what we're going to determine right now. A previous pay-per-view of that series. So.
All right, here we go. I've got a Oh shoot.
All right, I've
got a massive D6 right here.
So what are the years we've got?
2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 17, 20, and that's it.
Oh, right. There hasn't been a payback since 20. There hasn't been a payback.
It hasn't been one since 2020, and there was a gap between 2017 and 2020 as well.
All right.
So, all right, here we go. Roll the dice. Number 4. That's 2016.
2016. All right. Payback 2016.
2016 with the main event, or at least say the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles.
Oh, man. We got Chris Jericho on the cover of the poster, though. From April 30th, 2017 in San Jose at the SAP Center. We're back at the SAP Center.
No, you got the wrong one. It's number 4. 2016.
Oh, really? 2016. Oh, darn. I was on the wrong one. I was so excited that we were going to be back.
It's actually got the Wyatt family.
The Wyatt. Oh, yeah, the full Wyatt with your boy Braun.
Which is kind of confusing because I can't see them on the card. So we'll get to that.
That's not surprising. Somehow that doesn't seem surprising. All right, yeah. So next episode 2 is going to be Payback 2016, and we'll ramble on about some other stuff as well. Anybody who's listened this far, thank you for listening to Punks Talk Wrestling. That's
Thanks very much.
Improv outro that we just came up with. An improv outro, yeah. An improv outro. Just thanks. Man, my brain is mush, dude. I need so much sleep. I haven't caught up.
You
I still have not caught up, as my stammering and stumbling now can show. My brain is failing.
I mean, it's 10 p.m. for me, so I'm hitting that point too. So.
Yeah. We're both exhausted. Well, anyway. That's what we got. That's what we got here this week on Punks Talk Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed it if you've gotten this far. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.